Chapter 12, Example 3. A fellow researcher suggests that using the fertilizer may allow the tomatoes to grow with less water. Design an experiment to test this idea. So now we're saying, what about if there's less water? This means we're adding an additional factor. So we're doing a two-factor experiment. My factors are going to be fertilizer and water. Okay, so my levels, I will have no fertilizer, I'll have half the recommended amount, I will have full amount, full fert, and I will also have no water and water. Okay, so let's do something with this. Let's design an experiment. We're still going to use our 24 tomato plants. Before we get into that though, also, since I have three levels of fertilizer, 2 levels of water, and 2 factors, this is going to mean that I'm going to have multiple treatments. Treatment 1 will have no fertilizer and no water. Treatment number 2 will have no fertilizer, no water, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to have a total of 6 treatments. That's where the treatments and levels start to look different. So now I'm going to have multiple treatments, far more treatments. Okay, so we'll start with our 24 tomato plants. And of course, we want a random assignment. Okay, we'll start with group 1. Which will have 4 plants, and it will be our control. They're going to receive no water, no fertilizer. And we'll see how those do. Okay, group 2 will have half the amount of fertilizer and no water. Group 3 will also have 4 plants. You'll notice the trend, all these are going to have 4 plants. We'll have full fertilizer and no water. Okay, and we're going to continue this for the remaining groups. However, groups 4 through 5 will receive the normal amount of water. Okay, and then finally, we will compare all of these for juiciness and tastiness. So let's write up the process. We're going to begin again by stating what we're trying to do. So, I want to know whether tomato plants grown with Optigrow fertilizer yield tastier, juicier tomatoes than plants raised in similar circumstances, but without the fertilizer. Furthermore, I want to investigate the impact water has on the plants, so I will conduct a two-factor experiment. I will evaluate the results and conclude with a panel of judges rating the tomatoes on a scale from 1 to 10 on juiciness and taste. Okay, so now let's explain exactly how we're going to do this. Okay, I will conduct the experiment by purchasing 24 tomato plants of the same variety from the same store. Okay, I want to test the plants on 3 levels. So no fertilizer, half the recommended amount. In the full amount, as well as 2 levels of irrigation, water and no water. I'll have 6 treatments. So no fertilizer, half amount, full amount, with no water. Okay, and also no fertilizer, half fertilizer, full fertilizer, with the recommended amount of water. I'll randomly assign 4 plants to each treatment. Okay, now since we're saying I'm going to do that, I want to explain exactly how. I will do this by assigning the plants numbers 0, 1 to 24, and then use technology to randomly generate 24 numbers between 0, 1, and 24, ignoring repeats. The first 4 plants receive no fertilizer and no water, so they're in treatment group 1. The next 4 plants will get half the recommended fertilizer and no water, treatment 2. The next 4, full fertilizer and no water, and so on. I'll continue that process until all 24 plants have been assigned a treatment. Okay, so that's the main part of it. We have to write out every single step that we're going to do. Okay, so now let's finish it up. I'll grow the plants near each other in similar soil with similar amounts of rain, sun, and similar temperatures. Important, we have to put them in the same conditions. When the plants have reached full maturity, I'll harvest them and store them for evaluation.